What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel where you subscribe for daily updates on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. We're going to be taking a look at the charts. We're also going to take a look at a longer term chart that we looked at a few days ago and show you why I do believe there's still a big dump coming. Although if I'm wrong, could be a huge pump. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to take a look at both the bearish and the bullish case scenarios in the mid, long, and short term. We're going to move all the way down to the smaller time frames. Definitely stick around. Don't forget there's a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's an awesome community, guys. They have a lot of fun in there, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and your own research, as the market can be extremely volatile and risky. Don't ever put in more than you're willing to lose, especially if you're trading. And make up your own mind. Don't listen to anybody on the internet, including me. I am just showing you my thoughts and what I'm doing. So anyways, let's look at the fear and greed index. We are at 55. We raised 2 points from yesterday. We raised from the neutral zone into the greed zone. And we're also going to be taking a look at that MVT chart. But first, I want to remind you, we are doing a Ledger Nano-esque giveaway. At the end of the video, we'll be giving away, we'll be picking a random comment from a video throughout this week that will pick the winner. If you want to get entered to win this week's, all you have to do is make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post videos. Scroll down, smash that like button. I can't stress enough to smash the like button. It really helps get the channel out there. I really appreciate it. And then leave your comment below, and I'll be picking a random comment from a random video throughout this week for next week's winner. But make sure you stick around to the end of the video to see who won this week. Let's look at the BLX chart. This is the Brave New Index, and below you see the NVT down here. I'm not real big on a lot of indicators other than the RSI and my EMAs, but this is very interesting, and I want to go over it real quick and show you why I think we still could be looking at a big dump. We still might get that little rise today that we were talking about yesterday, and we'll take a look at all that. Make sure you stick around. Get the whole view, not just one part, and then leave a ridiculous comment that makes you look like a 5-year-old. All right, let's, as you can see over here, every time I have this trend line across the NVT at about 140, and shout out to the subscriber again that sent me this, and he sent me an email about it, so I drew it out. It makes perfect sense, and I've been finding more things on it also. I've been studying this chart quite a bit. But looking at the 140 trend line here, every time we turned red above it and dropped back below, we had a 35 to 75% drop. As you can see back here, when it crossed, we came down, we did a 75% drop. We did another. We turned red up here again, we turned gray, crossed down below the 140, and we had a 65% drop. Over here, once again, right where we crossed, we had a 72% drop. Let's look at where we're at over here. Right here, 69% drop when we made the cross. And then we did another one. I'm going to point out some divergences too in a minute. But right here, when we dropped, 50% drop. Right here, when we dropped below the 140, 35% drop. Right here, 60% drop. Right here, 35% drop. Now, if we drop to 35, here are the targets. If this chart plays out, the best case scenario is a 35% drop around the 7,800 range. Worst case scenario is the 75% drop down to the $3,000 range. There is a CME gap at 35.70 that you can see in the 8-hour. Not saying it has to go there, but definitely be aware it's down there, guys. Just be aware of that. All right, let's look at this. Higher highs in the price action, or lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the NVT, which is bearish divergence, and you can see what happened there. We had a drop from 8,600 all the way down to 5,800 within a matter of a week, actually a couple weeks. Let's look over here. Lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the NVT. We had a huge drop from 10,600 all the way down to 7,100. Let's look here. We have lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the MVT. That's hidden bearish divergence. But yeah, I still think we're going to see some lows here. And actually, I'm looking for the 92 to 8,800 range first, and then we will re-evaluate from there. But let's take a look at the monthly. We've been talking about this forever, guys. This is lower highs in the price action. If we use the bodies here, we had higher highs. And I use the bodies because RSI follows the bodies, not the wicks. So looking at the higher highs here in the price, lower highs in the RSI, that is bearish divergence. This is the monthly. Doesn't mean it happens in a day. Doesn't mean it happens in 2 days. Doesn't mean it happens in a week. It could take months. But in the monthly chart here, we are having bearish divergence. The 21 EMA lies around 6,100. 21 EMA around 88 to 8,900. Let's take a look. Another thing I wanted to point out here in the monthly, look at the volume. Volume's going down to nothing while the price is rising. Same thing in the weekly. If we look at the weekly, volume declining, price rising. This is an area I'm watching for the weekly close here. If we close above this 10,950, we could have a couple weeks above this trend line here. So we could get another bull move, possibly, if that is to happen. The super bullish case scenario is looking at these thick white trend lines, and we've had this up here forever. The first measured move is about 27 to 28,000. And if we look at the falling broadening wedge here from where we broke out, the measured move of that is 16,000. This one I don't think is likely. This one is still a possibility. And what we'll look at here is the RSI. If we were to get up there, that would probably get us back up to retest this trend line here. Although I don't think that's going to happen. This is looking like it is forming a head and shoulders right here. Left shoulder, head. And we could be forming the right shoulder here. If we break below this trend line right there on the weekly RSI, it could get really ugly really fast and drop. What I'm looking for, and I do think will be a great buying or longing opportunity if you're trading, life-changing trade, if we do come down and retest this trend line at some point, will be a great point to buy. I do believe that will signify a bottom. And that's my opinion. We'll see what happens. If we break this top trend line, all that's out the window. But anyways, that's what I'm looking at there. This is the weekly again. All right, daily. So as you guys know, I've been talking about a possibility of another black swan event. We know what happened here, the epidemic, and I do think there's a good possibility we will see something just like that again. Definitely a possibility. If we look here, look at this peak and this peak. That is lower highs in the RSI on the daily. Lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the RSI. That is hidden bearish divergence, guys. This is crucial here. If we do come back up and test this trend line on the daily, would be around 12,100. A break of that could get really, really bullish. Although I don't see that happening. I'm going to show you why as we go into the smaller time frames. Let's take a measured move here. Let's take a look at where we're at in this rising broadening wedge. If we were to drop down in the next week or so, the measured move off that's going to be between the $8,800 and $9,000 range, depending on if and where we hit this and break it, if we do break it. But that's what I'm looking at there. We do have the 50 or the 200 EMA at about 99.50. So keep an eye on these areas right there. But let's take a look at Prime XBT. If you guys are interested in trading and want to trade on leverage, where you can make money going up or down in the market, doesn't matter the direction. If you play it correctly, be careful. It is dangerous. Don't use super high leverage and don't put in more than you're willing to lose. But if you are interested in it, I'll leave my You can use my promo code Savy50 to get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit, up to 1 Bitcoin as a bonus. And that's every time you make a deposit. And then Savy25 will get you 25% off of your fees. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's by far my favorite exchange. It's they don't trade against you like all the other ones. It's actually set up nice like a real exchange, not like a casino. And there is tons of other stuff you can trade on here, other than Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP. You have Forex, Dow, S&P, gold, silver, oil can all be traded on this platform. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. I am currently still in my shorts that I showed you yesterday. We're up $1.29, but I do want to remind you, we started this account with 0.1 Bitcoin. We're going to try to work it up to a whole Bitcoin. As of right now, we have 0.21 Bitcoin in there. Obviously, trading's been kind of crazy lately. But this is just my sample account to show you guys. It is not my main account. I do have 2 other main accounts that I trade, make pretty much the same trades as I do on this, but this one I've created for you guys to watch. So, all right, let's take a look at the daily here. Let's take a different view on the daily. So looking at this, the white trend lines is a rising broadening wedge. The measured move from where we broke down there is around 3,800. Remember, we have the CME gaps at 3570, so it is possible to go down there. Again, I'm not saying it has to. I'm saying if you understand markets, you should understand that you need to look at the bullish and the bearish case scenario, not just one or the other, because you have to be ready for either direction. But although I am leaning big time bearish, I could be dead wrong. That's why, you should look at both cases. But either way, I will make money in this market. So if we look at this as a rising broadening wedge in pink, in the measured move of that, it's about 65 to 6,600, somewhere in that range, all depending on where this line breaks. The longer it would take if we do break it, the higher the target is. This target looks already set in stone if this was actually a rising broadening wedge. Coming up to retest this rising broadening wedge would be around the 12.5 to 12.6. It's possible. Coming up to retest the top of this rising broadening wedge again would be around the 13.8, which would be a double top. Them are the bullish case scenarios. A break of this, obviously, we know what happens after that. To the moon, as the moon boys would say. Let's look at the RSI, though. We had this rising wedge in here. Actually, I'm going to fix that up. We had this rising wedge in here. It does look like we are retesting bottom of that wedge. Most likely going to get rejected here and come down. But remember, this is the daily. It could wick up in this area and come back down as long as it closes below this trend line. That's bearish. This is my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. If you guys want to help support the channel and you want some cool crypto stuff, check it out. She's got a lot of stuff on here. You can put any coin as long as it's decentralized and no trademark, or any sayings or anything you want on any of this stuff. Just hit her up in the contact. There's aluminum signs, coffee mugs, hats, t-shirts. She also has keychains and some other stuff. You can ask her what she's got in the contact. She'll get back to you pretty quick. She's good with that. And let's look at the 4-hour. All right. Taking a look at the 4-hour here. Let me clean this up a little bit. I'll get the Fibonacci stuff off of here. We could be looking at this rising channel right here with the top up around 11,700-ish, depending. I'm going to get that out of the way, and we're going to take a look at what we looked at the other day, was looking at this triangle. First measured move, looking at the triangle as the start here. Our measured move is 10,900. There is something else that points to possibility of getting up to that range, which we'll take a look at in a second. If we take a look at this whole thing, starting here as a triangle, that would leave us to 12,300, which would also get us up to test this bottom trend line on the rising wedge, which we're going to take a look at here in a second. Another thing I want to point out real quick is if we take the Fibonacci retracement right here, we go from the swing high, put that up there, down to the swing low of this move here. We hit the Fibonacci golden pocket zone perfectly and have gotten rejected there so far. We do have the 0.786 retracement up here around that 11.9, which matches up with our one target. So that is a definite possibility. Either way, if I get stopped out of this short here, I'm going to re-short up here. That's just what I'm doing. Do whatever you want. But eventually, like I said, I will make money out this market. And as you can see, people like to say you get wrecked, got wrecked, whatever. Well, you see my account. And like I said, my main accounts are basically the same as that one. Just more money involved. I don't feel it necessary to show you guys how much money I'm playing with, but that is why I made this account with 0.1 Bitcoin. You can see I'm not getting wrecked. Anyways, I'm sorry to disappoint you negative people out there, but that's life. All right, let's take a look at the big deal here. So this is looking at like a rising wedge here, which we've dropped down out of here. The measured move of that is around 6,000. I've also put the Fibonacci retracements from this swing low to swing high up here. And our first one is 11,445. Another drop below that. Now, in the bullish case, we don't drop below the 10,445 again. If we come down here and get a support again and a bounce, it could be to the moon like a lot of you obviously want. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to fall back through this at some point. And our targets that we looked at before come into play. But the next Fibonacci retracement support after that is at the 0.382, which is at around 9,200. That's a very important area to me. Also the 8,800, and I'll show you another thing pointing at the 88 in just a second. Let me get that Fibonacci retracement off there. And if this does break and we break past the 8,800, 8,165 is 0.5 fib, and then we have the golden pocket zone down here. And I don't know, some people say the golden pocket is between the 0.618 and the 0.786. That's totally wrong. If you looked at it that way and tried to trade it that way, that's from 71.20 all the way down to 56.75. That's ridiculous. 0.65 and 0.618 are the golden pocket zone. But a break of this, and then we're looking at the 0.786 at 56.75. And then, of course, we have this 35.70. We do have a CME gap that you can see at the 8 hour. And again, it doesn't have to go down there, but be aware that it's down there. If you're not aware of that or trying to say that it's impossible, you could be in for a huge surprise. Anyway, that's what we're looking at there. I do want to show you one more thing. If we looked at this in the best case scenario, if we have a drop that the 8,800 holds, that would be looking at this as an ABC, and I'll show you what I mean. This being a one wave, then the ABC would be a two wave down, and then 3 would be a huge wave up, if that's the case. But either way, this does show a good target here. We go from the swing high to the swing low, which is right here, back up to this swing high. If we have topped out there, that gets us exactly to the $8,800 range to be a one-to-one extension, which shows a B and a C, which would be a zigzag correction. If that's the case, and we do get a bounce here, that could be the bottom. But if we drop below that, like I said, 8,200, and then we start looking at the other retracement areas. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, and I don't know that there's a whole lot to look at the RSI in a 4 hour. It does show, if this is correct in the 4 hour, that we could possibly get one more push up to retest the top of this trend line here, or this white trend line here. That would be a max out in my opinion, and come back down to here and most likely break this rising wedge. That is my opinion. Let's look at the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, if we look at this rising, and there were different ways to look at this. You could look at this as a head and shoulders, and if you look at it that way, we broke back above the neckline, and our support should be 11,100. If that holds, then we may come up and retest this one more time. And if we retest this rising channel here, that could be all the way up to, depending on where it hits, 12,100, 12,300, somewhere in that area. A break above that, then we get pretty damn bullish. But other than that, still looking for this target here of when we broke down here, and that would be around the 9,700, which, as you guys know, we have a CME gap down there also. And a breakdown below here. If we came down here pretty quick within the next day or so, around 10,570, 10,600 area, if we were to break that in the next couple days, the measured move off of that would be the measured move of this rising channel, and that'd be about the 9,400. So 94 to 9,700. Just be careful. A lot of people will try to long this 9,700 because they'll think that the gap's closed and it's going to shoot up from there. That could cause a major long squeeze and just a straight plummet from there. So be aware of that. Dollar index, we've been watching. It did break down and close below the support line. But if you look now, we're having higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI. That is hidden bullish divergence, and we are in a little uptrend here, so it does make sense. We could be coming back up to this area. And if DXY, dollar index, rises, Bitcoin drops. That's what happens. Litecoin, and then we'll look at Ethereum, and then we'll go into our Ledger Nano S winner from last week. So looking at it, same thing. I'm not even going to go through this, guys. A 5,100 would be a match for Bitcoin going up to that 10 or 11,650 to 11,700 area. I would see a rejection here. If not, we could get bullish at that point. It's possible, but everything looks pretty damn bearish here, guys. As you guys know, my target since we broke down from here has been 38.62, and then a measured move looking at this as a bear flag, 31.25, but 38.62 is still my target at this point. Ethereum, my target's still 246. I'm not going to go through it all, but a break above the 400, then we have to take another look at it. Could be bullish, but other than that, still bearish. All right, let's pick a random number. 7 videos, so number 5. We'll count down to number 5 on the video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was urgent warning to Bitcoin bulls. Still trying to warn you guys. Hope you listen. Copy link address, and we'll drop it into the comment picker. Get the comments and pick the random winner. It is Burned. I hope I said that right. You are the winner. You have 24 hours to get a hold of me. You can hit me up in the email down below, or if you belong to the Discord, just go to get a hold of me. I will verify it's you, and then I will get it out to you. So congratulations. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking the CryptoSavvy logo above my head. Smash that like button. Leave your comment down below for next week's chance to win the Ledger Nano X hard wallet. And thanks for stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I can't say how happy I am about all the support I get on this channel. You guys rock. Take it easy. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.